live. Kevin, thanks so much for being here in North Dakota. Big announcement today, Bitzero's North American headquarters in North Dakota. Why did you decide on North Dakota?
Policy. Policy, power, and people is what makes it work. Infrastructure deals like this. This data center is, I believe data is the new oil. Every sector of the economy needs data centers. It doesn't matter whether you're a Tesla or Microsoft and Amazon, or you're the State Department, or you're the federal government, or the licensing bureau. Everybody needs data. And so in order to make this work, we need data. But there's a new twist to this whole thing, and it's happened in the last 18 months. ESG mandates are global now. That means we have to build data centers on zero carbon emissions. And so you have to find a state where you've got the power, where you have an ability to sequester the carbon, which is unique to North Dakota. We could take flare gas, for example. We can sequester the carbon out of it, put it in a salt cave below this unique geology, and be carbon zero, basically, or a fraction of what anybody else can do with it. In addition, there's hydroelectricity here. And the Chairman Fox, has agreed to explore this with us right off the dam that he actually oversees. And so we can build 12 to 50 megawatts there over time using pure hydroelectricity that's huge, and take the heat off those stacks, the computer stacks, and build hydroponic facilities. So there's a lot of upside to this. I'm an investor, I look for opportunities, but also I have the unique ability, because I have millions of social media followers, to tell the story of what we're doing here in North Dakota. Nobody knows about this. Nobody knows anything about these carbon sequestration, or the salt caves, or the hydroelectricity here. It's a secret. Well, that's all going to change.
I talked to your COO, Akbar, in Miami. He said you guys have spent years and a lot of money researching the best sites for these data centers, crypto mining. Is it safe to say that North Dakota is providing you an opportunity to mine the cleanest crypto on the planet from an ESG perspective?
Well, it is. I met Josh only 3 months ago now at a crypto conference, and I was talking about the work we're doing in Montana and in Tennessee Valley and in Norway, and these are locations where we have a very, very friendly environment in terms of business. In addition, we've got hydroelectricity or nuclear power, and he said, you got to come to North Dakota. And I knew North Dakota already because I have a business here called PRX, which is actually a Shark Tank deal, one of the most successful deals in Shark Tank history. It's gym equipment, performance gym equipment, and it really exploded because it was made for small condominiums, 900 square foot, etc. But having said that, I'd been to Fargo before. It was easy for me to come back and hear the story. I brought the CEO, Akbar, with me and said, let's look at this place for data centers. Let's find out what they can offer us and how we can work together. And here we are today with these announcements. This is the beginning of a long-term relationship, and I think it's going to be very, very fruitful.
So there's a big conversation out there right now about crypto mining, the impact it's having from a carbon perspective. What do you say to the naysayers that say crypto's bad because of the impact on the climate?
I think proof of work, which is attempted to be banned in places like the EU, it's misunderstood. Data centers can do all kinds of things. One of them, and why crypto mining is very important to data centers that are being stabilized. When you build an office tower, for example, it takes you 3 years to do it before people can move in. But in the case of a data center, you can actually mine crypto while you're building out the stages to get some cash flow to make it more attractive for investors, because it's very expensive. These data centers cost $100 million, $200 million, $300 million, depending on how big you make them. And this is a way to get returns, but you're doing it in a way where each coin awarded, these bitcoins, are being done on a carbon neutral basis. If you're using hydroelectricity, as we will be doing with Chairman Fox, there's zero carbon in that. And so we can use it for Bitcoin mining, we can use it for Ethereum mining, we can use it for a data center for a Microsoft or a Tesla or an Amazon. It doesn't matter. What matters is the power and the contract and the physical facility. What's inside of it changes every 36 months because the technology evolves, the chips change. And we are very fortunate to have investors that have access to semiconductors, manufacturing of those, very important for data centers regardless of what you're doing inside the walls of the data center. You can't do it without semiconductors.
You talked about 1,500 sovereign wealth fund or major investors being at the Bitcoin conference. You work with a lot of sovereign wealth funds. Now that you've got this ESG net zero opportunity in North Dakota, what's going to be the tipping point, do you think, to get more sovereign wealth funds, institutional investors investing in Bitcoin and crypto?
So it's really about show me. When you're talking about long-term money, pension plans, sovereign wealth funds, it really is about show me it working. And that's why we've had so many visitors to our Norway facility. We've been building that now for almost 3 years from scratch to show how to do it. And that is a zero carbon emission facility It's working very successfully. The government there supports it. We built the transmission lines there, massive infrastructure investment. But that's an example of what we can do here in North Dakota. And I think Chairman Fox, if I'm letting the cat out of the bag a bit, is going to fly there to see the facility, because the Norway model, as we call it, will work ideally for him on his land.
Commercial for North Dakota. We want to turn you from Mr. Wonderful into Mr. North Dakota. What do you want people to know about this great state?
It's pro-business. It's got great policy. It's got great people, and it's got great energy. And you need all of that to do data centers, but mostly it's about being stable. I mean, I'm very fortunate to know the governor from decades ago. We came up together in the software industry. His story is very akin to mine. We're almost the same age. And so we feel very comfortable working together on this new initiative. He understands the value. So does the senator. This is a really big deal. I mean, this is the next big thing in technology, data centers, and data is the new oil. We need to be part of it together. And I feel my job here is I'm very fortunate to have so many social media followers, millions of them, is to tell the story of North Dakota. What's wrong? This is a great story. I want to tell it. And I want to invest here. I want to be a partner, and I want to build this up. It's just good business.
So we talked about a lot of external communications outside of North Dakota. What do your projects mean for the people of North Dakota?
This is about jobs. It's about taxes. It's about innovation. It's about growth. All of these matter. It's about health insurance for those people. It's all the things we can do. Every time we build another data center, there's more jobs there. We can support the universities. We can support research. Data is in every sector. It doesn't matter what sector you're in. Every tractor is now a computer pumping out information. It's got to be stored somewhere. Every car is doing the same thing. That's what data centers are all about. And so I look at it as, something that's very long-term in nature, but we should be creating a lot of economic impact here. And it's very measurable. It's very visible. You can see it. And it starts today.